Alright, just a quick little announcement before we begin. The January and February lunar calendar over at zodiacarts.com is now available. They were running a bit late with that, which drove me absolutely crazy because that's the calendar I like to use for my void of course scheduling. But better late than never, and it's now up for those of you who are interested in that. Make sure you choose your appropriate time zone. It doesn't look like the full calendar is ready yet, but hopefully soon. A bit of sigil success to report, only because it happened so fast that I didn't even have to charge the sigil. I only pre-charged it as I go over in the Manifesting Reality program. It was, many years ago when I was in my 20s that I was at an outdoor concert and got my picture taken with the lead singer of one of my favorite groups. And I ended up losing that picture later on. This was a film photograph, as there were no digital pictures back then. Turns out an old buddy of mine who went to the concert with me, and I use the term buddy loosely as this is a kind of person that really wouldn't ever go out of his way for you, if you know what I mean. Turns out he had the picture. And I've kind of been pestering him over the years about getting a copy of that. Not incessantly, but every so often. And I would always get the same response. Yeah, I'll get you a copy of that. And it never happened. And I'd forget about it for a while. And then when I would remember it, of course I would bring it up. I'd get the same answer. On and on and on. Well, recently I was reminded about it again. Asked him, got the same answer, which annoyed me because I knew better. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make a sigil for it to be returned to me. I don't care if it's the original. I don't care if it's a digital copy. It's the only picture of me and a celebrity. I want to have it. It's one of my favorite groups. So I make the sigil. I pre-charge it. I put it away. 2 days later, he tags me in a post on Facebook with the picture. So there you go. Without Magick, no results. With Magick, I get results in 2 days. And I probably should have used Magick on it before, but, I had other priorities. I would like to have a copy of that picture, but it wasn't real high on my priority list. I had other things I need to take care of first. And it seemed like, a silly thing to have to do Magick for, but I'm glad I did, finally. But it's the speed which amazed me because they usually don't happen so quickly. I mean, they can and they have. I've had same-day results before, but it's not as common. And I certainly wasn't counting on this guy to act very quickly. So I have received a message, a video message, from someone who you may remember a while back, the guy who seemed to want to debate me on things and was coming from a place of scarcity, who I felt I couldn't help. And so I sent him off to watch R.S.D. Tyler videos, who I felt could help him more with his issues than I could. Let's get into it and see what he's been up to.
I apologize for the poor quality of the audio and the video in this. I need to get some better recording equipment, but for now this is going to have to do. This is a video that I'm making regarding mine and Magick's 3 videos about me on money from way back. This is a long overdue video. I wanted to clear some things up, and I have some reflections, and I've learned quite a bit as well. So I'm going to get right into it. I just want to say first off, I'm not bashing mine and Magick's channel. I think it's a really cool channel. And I didn't want to come on YouTube because it has a lot of negatives, putting my face on YouTube like this. But I weighed in the pros and the cons, and I decided to go ahead and do it because ultimately it's a good thing, because it's an outlet for me to express myself and to release myself from a lot of past resentment, I think. And I don't like to hold grudges or anything, but I actually found myself holding a grudge about this, and I need to finally let it go.
All right, first thing right off the bat, I want to say that you come across better in your video than you do in your messages. You seem calm and collected, and I appreciate that. I'm also glad that you're letting go of past resentment, but you should probably examine why you were holding on to it in the first place. I mean, it's been how many months now? And I'll be honest, I haven't thought about it at all. I don't know if that makes you feel better or worse, but I never dwelled on it. And this is what I'm talking about when I say that there are people out there who will hold grudges from grade school well into their adult life. And this comes from a place of deep insecurity, scarcity. And this is what I wanted to help this individual with to begin with, but felt that RSD Tyler could do a better job. But yeah, if you have resentment, you need to get it out. What goes in has to come out. And so I welcome the opportunity for you to express it. Let's continue.
So this video has a lot of different purposes, I guess you could say. I'm going to get right into it with first talking about debate. Debate is not something that I equate with arguing with someone or fighting with somebody. I debate as if it was an art form. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Well, it may be one of your favorite things to do. However, for me, it is not. To me, it's a very beta thing to do, as I do equate it with arguing, attempting to convince or prove a point. And I've said it many times on this channel before, I have nothing to prove. I know what works for me, and I'm sharing what works for me. And it's up to the individual to take it or leave it. And I'm not going to feel bad or resent it if somebody leaves it. It matters to me not which they choose. Now, when people come to me and ask me for advice, I'll give it to them. Although that's easier said than done these days, considering the sheer volume of people asking. But what I won't do is sit around and debate somebody to try to prove to them or convince them that my way is the right and better way, because it may not be for them. And I've said it before that magic is not for everyone. And so people can take it or leave it. They either get it or they don't. Sitting around debating with someone, to me, is a complete waste of time. And I know because I used to do that. And if you want to talk about resentment, from my experience, debating someone is a very quick way to create that. And I also don't need to debate anyone because I have a strong frame, which we're going to get into in a minute.
But it has rules. And I learned that I was committing a lot of logical fallacies, and so was mine and Magick, with those 3 videos. I committed a logical fallacy in particular of what's called begging the question. I think it's a variation of begging the question. There's another term for it. But basically what I was doing was saying that he was exalting people who play video games when that's not what he was saying. I put words in his mouth. I said that he said something he didn't say, or I basically said something. I said that he implied something that he didn't imply. It also goes that way.
Yes, when I was talking that there are people out there who are making money sitting around playing video games, it didn't mean that I was exalting video games. And I appreciate you recognizing that. The way someone earns money is by providing value, offering value to others. And for better or worse, our society tends to put a lot of value on entertainment. In my opinion, way too much. But it is as it is.
So I found this link with 24 different logical fallacies not to commit when you're actually having a true debate with someone. I'll put it in the info section of this video below, but it's a great resource for anybody who actually wants to have a debate or a discussion with somebody regarding any kind of topic. Like if you look at the presidential election, politics, people discussing things on the internet, I notice all too often that these logical fallacies are being committed all the time. So there's 24 of them in the link below the video. I highly recommend reading them for anybody who wants to have an actual discussion with somebody or a debate with somebody that actually goes somewhere. Alright, so next I learned that it's really a good idea not to make assumptions about someone else. The assumption was made about me that I was just trying to argue, with Frater X. I was just trying to fight with him, and that's not true. I was actually cooperating quite a bit in my emails, and I was giving a lot of positive feedback. I made a list of things I love to do, and then I tried to find ways of making money, and then I told him about this. But this was totally disregarded. And the assumption was made that I was just going to be resistant to change. But nothing could have been further from the truth. And so when I saw the second video, the follow-up from his first video about me, I became very upset because I was in actually a very positive vibration, and I was really trying to work with him, and it was just a total shock to me when I heard him say that I was doing the exact opposite and was just being really negative and argumentative. So this is a lesson that I learned through Frater X's behavior, and that is to never make assumptions about someone else. I've made assumptions about other people. We all have. But it's an excellent code to go by, to never assume anything about anyone, no matter how things maybe seem to be going. Don't make assumptions.
Well, the assumptions that I make serve me well because they're pretty accurate. I mean, people tell me all I need to know in their communications because what they say is going to tell me how they think. And how they think is going to tell me things, well, for starters, whether or not they're in scarcity or abundance. And what I was getting from you is someone who is in scarcity. I find it real interesting to be able to take what someone is saying and go between the lines and reveal exactly what their subconscious is communicating and saying about themselves in the background. And so I sense that you were someone who's in scarcity, and I've talked about people in scarcity before, and I'm not going to go through all that again. Now, you may have been trying later and started sending me things that you were doing this and doing that, but if you recall, I had given you an assignment. I had given you a referral to go and watch all of RSD Tyler's videos and then come back when you're done with that. But instead of doing that, you kept sending me things, and so I disregarded them. So you can sit there and say that I'm making assumptions about you like it's a bad thing, but that doesn't mean that the assumptions weren't correct. And I'm going to go ahead and let you prove this to yourself by your own words.
And also, this leads to defining somebody as being something. Unfortunately, it actually does matter what other people think about me. It matters what other people think about someone else. Here's why. If you have somebody or a group of people defining you as something, you're more likely to become that. I found evidence with this, with interactions with other people in the past, where somebody regards me as being inferior to them and they're condescending towards me. When they're condescending towards me, or they, think that I'm inferior and they're defining me as being inferior to them, I start to act inferior. And I try not to behave that way, but all of a sudden I just become somebody else. I become the one that they're defining me as. So when you have a mass of people defining you as being as something negative, it makes it extremely difficult to be anything else. And it's extremely difficult, it makes it that much more difficult to get out of when that's happening. So it definitely does matter what other people think about someone. I've said to myself, over and over, I don't care what anyone else thinks of me. That can help a little bit, but that can only go so far. You can only take that so far. It's still going to have an effect if you have people defining you as being something. So it's very important to have a positive definition of someone if you want to help them.
All right, so the reason you care so much what others think of you and start to become what others define you as is because you have what is known as weak frame control. You say it absolutely matters what others think of you. That's you. It doesn't bother me one bit what people think of me because I have strong frame control. So what are frames? What is frame control? Basically, when two or more people interact, the one who has the strongest beliefs is going to have the strongest frame control. Primarily beliefs about themselves. And there's always a constant frame battle going on in an interaction, especially in the debates that you say you like so much. And the strongest frame was always going to dominate over the weaker frames. So if you're interacting with someone and they have a frame of being superior to you and their frame is really strong and yours is really weak, then yes, you are going to start acting inferior to that person with the strong frame. Now see, you would have learned all of this had you taken my recommendation and gone on over to RSD Tyler's channel and watched all his videos. I didn't send you over there to learn how to pick up women. I sent you over there to learn frame control, core confidence, how to offer value, how to go from scarcity to abundance. That's why I sent you over to his channel, because those with weak frame control are in scarcity. The two go hand in hand. The people in scarcity are always seeking validation from others. They care way too much what others think of them, when the only person who really matters is what you think of yourself. If you don't develop a strong frame and you allow others to define you, you're going to have problems your entire life. And so I was trying to help you. But as the saying goes, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. And this is the source of my irritation with you. If people come to me and ask me for advice and they don't take the advice, that's fine. That's their choice. But that's also where the interaction should end. I see no point in continuing beyond that. I don't owe you or anybody anything. So remember, you came to me. I didn't seek you out. I wasn't coming to you for advice and discussion. So once I see that people aren't open to my recommendations is when I'll start shutting them down. I'm not really in this to make friends. That doesn't mean I won't pick up a few friends along the way or that I can't be friendly. But I'm here for the purpose of getting the information and knowledge out to those who are open to it. So if you're looking for someone to debate or chit-chat with or have discussions on topics such as aliens, free energy, and conspiracy stuff, I'm probably not the right guy for that.
And never make assumptions about this person saying that they're going to be resistant to change and so on and so forth. Next, I'd like to talk about basically Well, I don't want to get into this too much, um, but it was the basis of my original email, and that's free energy technology and how free energy technology can affect the economy. Um, I invested in a company that actually is pushing this forward. You know, I put my money in the stock market for this company. I'll put that in the link in a link in the info section below here too. But I see free energy as being the future because it could fix so many problems in the world. Um, you could get rid of starvation across the world. You wouldn't have anyone starving in third world countries anymore, etc. And I see it as a highly probable technology that's going to be a reality in the near future. So I don't quite understand why free energy technology was not talked about, since it was what my entire email was centered around. I know that I can be a little bit extreme a lot of times, and I take things too far, like, oh, we don't have to die ever, and we're unlimited, and this and that. But I really do believe it's reality, and I don't understand why free energy technology was not even talked about once in any of those three videos.
Well, I got ahead of myself and just answered that. That's not really my focus on this channel. Now, I'm all for alternative sources of energy. I think what Elon Musk over at Tesla is doing is a great thing. I wouldn't exactly call it free. I know of no free energy. Solar, wind, electric cars is actually pretty expensive. But if you can afford to get off the grid, then I think it's a good idea and will pay for itself in the long run. In the short term, though, it's pretty pricey. I know Tesla is unveiling a new model in March that is supposed to be about half the price of their $80,000 model. But again, I'm not focused on these things. You know, I wouldn't email an electrician and ask him a plumbing question and then wonder why he's not answering my plumbing question.
It's just a little thing I wanted to put out there. I definitely see it as being the future. I'd also like to talk about emailing people. This is something else I've learned is that you can't really harass somebody by emailing them. I have a lot of people I email all the time, in fact, but I'm cleaning that up now because I figured that if I make videos of myself on YouTube, that this can take the place of me emailing people over and over, and I understand how that can get annoying, but emailing somebody is not, you know, harassing them or hunting them or anything like that. No. I got the kind of vibe, and this may not be true, that mine and Magick thought I was like stalking them or something, but no, it's not like I have a picture of him and I masturbate to it, you know, like a poster of him on the wall and I jack off to him every day. No. I just like to put my ideas out there, and I highly regard this channel, and I very highly value accurate information, and or information intel that's, you know, above the rest, and so I like to put my ideas out to people like that. And so I have a whole host of people I was emailing quite a bit. I'm no longer doing that. I'm taking it to YouTube because I'll always have somebody listening to me if I have subscribers. So there's no reason for me to email people like that anymore. So this takes care of a lot of things. It takes care of a lot of problems by me just putting myself out here on YouTube. So I don't stalk people. The only way to stalk someone or harass someone is to physically threaten them with violence on the internet, or to slander them on the internet. You make something up that's not true, you get a bunch of people to see it, to attack their character. You know, I don't do either one of those things. I'm just kind of a noisy guy. And
again, once I give out a recommendation or advice and it's ignored, That's when the interaction should end. I shouldn't have people keep questioning me when I've already given them the answers. I shouldn't even be making this response video, to be honest. But I am, because I think it's a good thing that you're taking it to YouTube and doing videos. If not for anything else, but for an outlet. Just as my channel is an outlet for me to be able to talk about and express things that I normally wouldn't be able to with people in real life. So I consider that a positive development for you.
I have a lot of strange reactions to food that I put in my body, and I make assumptions that aren't true regarding that, as far as somebody magically attacking me and so forth. A lot of times it's just my body having an adverse reaction to food, such as a reaction to wheat, to natural flavors in food, to artificial flavors, MSG. All those kinds of ingredients, can make me have some pretty severe physiological reactions. Flavorings in meat, for example, cause me to have seizures at night. It's insane. It's I don't understand that. I mean, I'm pretty sure it is food, because when I stop eating that, it stops happening. So I'm going to be making videos in the future regarding this. Definitely. I got a health project that I'm working on. What diet works the best for my physiology, at least. So I'm very excited about that. I'm making a lot of progress. I really think Magick's channel is really cool. I really like it. I'm not trying to bash him. I understand that he was in a Mars transit, which is alright. All too often, that's always taken out on me. It's kind of my life story. Whenever somebody is angry or has frustrations, somehow I always become the one on the receiving end of that, which is something I need to work on, reprogramming my own subconscious, because I'm somehow creating that in my life. But this wouldn't be the first time that someone's unloaded on me before, and I kind of feel like that's what happened. But maybe,
I'm not sure what goes on in the rest of your life, but I'm fairly sure you manufacture it somehow. Again, my recommendation is the same. Go watch RSD Tyler. Learn how to build core confidence, maintaining a strong frame, generating positive emotions from within so you can go from scarcity to abundance. People with like mindsets tend to want to converse with people of the same mindset. And so I know it's annoying when I tell people who have like a poverty mindset that poverty and wealth are mindsets. Yeah, it annoys the shit out of them. And they start grumbling, what do you mean it's a mindset? Because it infers that they're doing something wrong, which they are, but, they take offense to it, they can't stand it, just as people who are in a wealth mindset cannot stand those in a poverty mindset. It's that classic polarity clash. I mean, you seem like a nice guy and all. I'm not saying that you're a bad guy, but you need to learn to change your mindset around if you want to get the results. And if you want to do it, you're going to have to want to do it.
It just is what it is. I feel a lot better making this video. I feel like I can kind of release this, because I've had some resentment about it, and I wasn't really angry about the first video. It was the second video that really got me riled up, because I was really trying to cooperate and work towards something positive, and to just get knocked down like that when I'm really trying to make an effort, is not going to be helping me. It's not going to be assisting me. The final thing I want to talk about, though, pushing all that aside, I'm letting it go. This video is me letting this go. Definitely. The candle magic. It's interesting, because if you make a lot of money just by burning a candle and doing the ritual with a candle, it kind of makes the entire money system fake. It's kind of like it's not even real. Because if you can make money burning the candle, instead of, getting a job and, working to obtain the money, all you have to do is burn a candle, do a ritual candle, and a coincidence will show up and you'll be making a lot of money. It basically means the money system is artificial. It's just a charade. It's just something to be outsmarted. And the only difference between those who have money and those who don't have a lot of money, the only difference is the ones who know how to outsmart the money system and the ones who don't know how to outsmart the money system.
Well, I don't know really how else to put this, but this reality itself isn't real. I mean, scientists are starting to come around to discover what magicians have known for some time. We can take a look at some of these headlines. Is the universe a hologram? There is growing evidence that our universe is a hologram. This reality is not what it seems on the surface. As magicians, we know that reality is malleable, and we can shape it however we see fit. And the control system for shaping our reality is the subconscious mind. And this is why it's so important to have the proper mindset so that your subconscious is working for you instead of against you.
The ones who outsmart the money system, basically, they are in the same place as the ones who haven't. It's just the ones who have outsmarted it, they're in a jail cell, but the bars are there. The bars, okay. Sorry, 1 second. The ones who have outsmarted the money system are in a jail cell with the rest of us who haven't. The rest of the people who haven't. It's just they realize those bars that are in the jail cell aren't real and they can just walk right through them.
And that's where the video ends. It probably had got cut off or he hit a time limit or something. But no, I mean, look, you're looking at it incorrectly. You're looking at it through the eyes of scarcity. You're looking at it as trying to outsmart the system, to get one over on the system, to game the system. And that's what people in scarcity do. They're always trying to get one over, like it's a scam or something. I've said it before. The way you earn money is by providing value. By the law of compensation, the amount you're going to earn is going to be based on 3 things. The need for what you do, how well you are at doing it, and how difficult it would be to replace you. Your mindset about money itself is going to have an influence on your earnings. And when it comes to magic, all you're doing is putting an instruction into the subconscious. That's not gaming the system because that is the system. What you put into your subconscious is going to determine your reality. That's the control mechanism for shaping reality. So there's no, getting one over on the system and outsmarting it. That's an incorrect way of looking at it. Incorrect as in it's not going to get you very far. It's not going to benefit you. Now, I received this message along with the video. In fact, it's how I found out that he did a response video to me to begin with. My vid wasn't bashing you. You probably ignored it, thinking that I'm a knucklehead. Yes, interesting that I can hear other people's thoughts, LOL. Let's see, I didn't know you had a video until you messaged me. I am wondering how you are resistant to change. Your perspective is that most people are resistant to change. What does this perspective reveal about yourself? You say that people's perspectives say more about themselves than anything else. I now realize that those 3 videos reveal much more about yourself than they do about me. Perhaps you are resistant to change, particularly the change coming up involving free energy technology finally being introduced into the world at large. Well, of course, my perspective is going to reveal things about me. Abundance, a strong frame, core confidence, knowing what the hell I'm talking about. And if I don't know it, I'll say I don't know it. But it's like you're trying to flip the script and act like that's a bad thing. I am told to have no further dealings with you, and I'm going to take that advice. Enjoy your fame while it lasts. I didn't know I was famous. I would say I'm successful, but, fame would be news to me. And did I mention that you come across better in person than you do in your messages? I was told to have no further dealings with you, and that's fine because that's all I wanted to begin with. Until you actually, follow the advice and go watch all those RSD Tyler videos and then come back and see if you still think the same way. They say that we're the sum of the 5 people that we hang around the most. So you should be like inundating yourself with people who are in abundance. And it's going to be difficult to find those people in real life because they don't hang out with scarcity mindsets. So you need to go listen to people on YouTube like Bob Proctor, RSD Tyler, Ty Lopez, Brian Tracy, so that it starts rubbing off on you. But yeah, you definitely come across better in person than you do in your messages. Like trying to flip the script on me or something. Like it's you who don't want to talk with me now. I'm not sure where that's going to fit into your little chart of debate logical fallacies, but there's probably something in there about that. I don't know. I haven't taken a look at it, but I'm just off the top of my head see what that's, attempting to do. So that's my response video to your response video. And as I said before, I don't have anything against you, and I don't mean to come off as being a dick, because you seem like a nice guy, but I don't know how many times I can point out to you the source of your issues and what to do about them. There's no reason to be that upset over something I did, 6 months ago, probably? I'm not even sure. It's been a while, and hopefully you won't resent this one either. But if you do, remember that that's a choice. One always has a choice. You could either be offended by something or you can be inspired by the very same thing. Learn to take things not so personally. There's nothing wrong with you, per se. You are actually operating correctly. It's just that you have a lot of programming in your subconscious that is working against you. And you're going to need to clear a lot of that out and begin to think differently and develop a new mindset that's going to serve you and benefit you. And I've told you exactly what to do and where to go to be able to accomplish that. And I will leave it at that. And I will see you all next time. Take care.